Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you something a little bit different. So the other day in Minecraft, I was roaming around in survival, as I very occasionally do, and I came across this big, giant, mountainous area here, and for some reason, it struck a chord with me. I wanted to turn this into something a little bit nicer. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to turn this area right here, or any sort of area like it, into this. So this is what I have created from that old, boring, yet beautiful mountain that I just showed you. This is a little mountain town that I thought fit very well into this particular area. Now, this would also fit very well into another mountain. As a matter of fact, every single one of these things here, as you can see, will work in any sort of mountainous hilly area. Everything is incredibly easy to make, nothing is insanely complicated, however everything does look good and everything does work well together. And I'm sorry for this next bit guys, but it does help show off the area a little bit more. I'm going to chug this potion. I know that the effect is irritating, but now you can actually see it a little bit better. So why don't I actually show you all of the components to this mountain town before I actually show you how to make it. So if we start at the very base of the mountain town, you can see that I added a farm. But something that you might not have noticed is I also added a little bit of a cave down at the base of the mountain. Here we have a little interior mushroom farm here, but you could easily use this as storage, or you could use it as transportation to travel your way up the mountain. It's just a nice little addition that doesn't take very long to add whatsoever. I also added a waterfall to our little mountain as well. Once again, very easy to add, adds a lot of color to the place, a lot of variation, and it just looks great. If we wander our way up our little mountain here, if we wander our way up, you can see that I obviously added a lot of boardwalks and a lot of platforms. The platforms serve a couple of purposes. They're easy to see. They're a nice way to just kind of like split up the walking path that you use to travel up the mountain, and with each individual sort of platform that we have, each one serves a purpose. This one is to kind of just get you started and kind of like lead you up to where the actual walkway is, but it does split off into another path. If we walk around up here, you'll notice that we have a ladder, and that leads us into one of these small houses which are built into the mountain. You can see in one of these houses we have a bed, we have some chests, we have a crafting table, furnace, we can crack open this door, and we have a nice little balcony here which we can look out onto our Minecraft world from, and we can exit the house in the exact same way. We can come all the way down the ladders, and we can kind of like just rejoin ourselves where we left off. And if we continue climbing the little mountain path that we have here, we can jump down the waterfall as well, by the way. We have another platform here. However, this is kind of interesting. This is what I like about this. We have a nice... It's kind of like a hidden away walkway where we can actually walk into the mountain a little bit. It's nice and lit up, and we pop out the other side and we pop onto this platform right here, in which we have another house. And if we enter the house, this is actually kind of like a two-stage house. Like down below here, we have a lot of areas for storage, and we have a lot of areas for crafting and enchanting and stuff like that. But we can actually climb up this ladder right here, and this will take us into the second part of the house. And in this second part of the house, this is where we have like a bed, and this is where we have some more crafting supplies. And of course, you can make these rooms bigger, you can make multiple rooms, you can make them as huge and as detailed as you like. This is just a small, simple example that I'm sure any one of you guys would be able to replicate for yourself. And of course, we can now exit this house. We're a little higher up on the mountain. We're on a little platform here once again, and this platform actually takes you all the way up to the tippity top of the mountain, where we have, this is pretty much just for decoration, but you could easily have a nice little mine here. You could easily create a winding staircase into an actual mine that's quite safe. It's kind of out of the way of everywhere, but you can also climb up to the top of the mountain from this point, and you can kind of just stare all the way around your beautiful Minecraft world. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is the entire mountain town. It's very simple to make. It looks great. It'd be a great addition to your world. You may also notice that there's a lot of light added to the mountain town as well. We've got areas of glowstone lighting the place up as well. I promise it's very, very simple to make. If you want the seed for this particular world, you will be able to find that down below in the description. I'll also leave it on the screen right now. I'll leave the seed and the coordinates for this particular part of the world on the screen right now. You can find that, no problem. But all of that information will be left down there below in the description. But if you do have a survival world that you're already building in, I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard for you to actually find an area like this. But without any further ado, guys, why don't I actually show you how to make this thing, or something that looks very much like it. The one that I'll be making will be a little bit different. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are right back here with what I started before I actually made the mountain town. This is exactly what I worked with. And I'm going to let you know that the town that we're about to make will not be 100% identical to the town that we have just made. It will be different because this isn't going to necessarily be a block for block tutorial, but I will be showing you how you can put together the town that I just did. Yours will look different from mine, mine will look different from yours, it will look different from everybody else's, and that's what's kind of cool about it. So if you crack open your inventory, here's what you'll need to get the town started. You'll need some oak wood planks, some oak wood stairs, some dark oak stairs, some dark oak slabs, some oak wood fence, some white stained glass blocks, some spruce wood, some dark oak fence, and some oak wood. We will also need all of the other materials that you can see in the inventory right now. You might even need more stuff later on, so you might want to pause this video, grab everything that you see, and like I said, you probably won't have everything that you need. So once you have all of that stuff, and once you've either loaded up this world or found your own, we can begin the build. And I'm just realizing that it's going to get dark. Let me turn off the weather cycle. I did say turn off weather cycle, but I also turned that off and I turned it to day as well, because otherwise it tends to snow here in this particular area of Minecraft, which is an effect that you might like. So the first thing that we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, we're just going to extend the base of our mountain. So we're going to create an area in which we can have a nice little bit of a farm, and we want to create a base of our mountain. So if you come all the way around to the very bottom right hand side-ish of your mountain, and if you take your oak wood and you create a rectangular shaped platform which will sit on top of these trees and eventually connect to the base of your mountain, you can circle out an area or rectangle out an area in which you can actually use to do some farming and to, like I said, have like a bit of a base of the mountain. You'll need your oak wood, and it'd also be beneficial if you grabbed yourself some grass or some dirt. If you're in survival, obviously you can't grab grass blocks unless something has changed and I'm not aware of it. But grab yourself some dirt. It doesn't really matter. I'm sure that the grass will grow eventually. If not, you can just hoe the land anyway and you can create a farm. But I'm going to fill the base of this in. If you want a larger farm area, then I would suggest creating a larger base to the mountain. But the entire point of this is that we are creating, like I said, a flat land at the base of the mountain that we can actually walk around. This will allow us to create a farm area at the base of the mountain, but it will also allow us to open up the little cave that we have at the base of the mountain as well, which is right about there. So, if you want to kind of like create a divide between the area that we've just made and like the trees and stuff, you may want to use your oak wood and you may want to use your oak fence to create a barrier between the farm that we're about to plant and between the rest of the area. So you might want to just do something like this. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to grab a diamond hoe and some seeds, and I'm just going to create a little bit of a farm. Now, I'm not going to do a massive farm. It's not going to be absolutely huge, but the farm absolutely adds a lot to this build. If you've got like a bit of farmland, it adds a nice little bit of shape, it adds some color, it adds something interesting to look at. So not only is it functional, not only is it quite practical, really, but it adds something like aesthetically to the area. It doesn't even have to be that big. Like this, it could just be about that big. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out our stone and our cobblestone. We're going to create a cave entrance. You guys know how cave caves look, right? I mean, they're kind of like this sort of shape, aren't they? They're kind of like this sort of shape, kind of like a half moon, something like that. That's the sort of shape that we're going for, like a very generic cave shape entrance like this. And then all you would do to create your cave is, after you've created this, and by the way, there is a specific area for the cave. I like it just on the right hand side here because it's kind of far away from everything else, and in this central area a lot of stuff's going to be going on. We're going to have a pool, and we're going to have a lot of platforms built up around this area. So I would highly recommend keeping the cave away from all of the other built up areas. It's nice as a nice little surprise. Like, you might not have even noticed the cave if I hadn't have shown it you, like, just from, like, the intro. You might not have seen it. Or you might have. Maybe you've got eagle-eye vision, who knows. So, once you've created a cave, once you've dug into the area a little bit, light it. Use some glowstone, or use, like, I don't know, like a torch, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Just crack open the cave and make it light. Also, add some stuff around the cave. So, add like an oak wood fence to the outside of the cave. Make it look as though that it is supported. Maybe even add like a couple of oak wood stairs at the top of the cave, something like this. Or you could even add them one row inwards. You could even add, say, like another support for the cave. So you could add like a spruce wood with an oak wood fence on top of it. Make it look as though the cave is man-made, which it is. Now, I'm just going to add a little something to the inside of the cave. This doesn't have to be added. I mean, it doesn't even, it can be anything else. Like, it could be a transport rail system. It could be a way to travel up and down the mountain. But a cool thing to add, and I'm not even sure if I need these particular blocks to place them, but a cool thing to add, I think, is you could have, like, a vast mushroom farm or something like that. Like I said, it doesn't have to be incredibly detailed. It doesn't have to be incredibly thought out. If you are using this as some sort of survival base or something a bit more functional, then you yourself might actually have a use for the cave. But place some mushrooms in there, place a couple of chests, rail system, ladder system, something like that would work wonders. And there you guys have. We have a little farm down here. That's going to progress nicely. We have a cave. We now have a base to the mountain. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to create a few platforms. Yeah, that's right. We're going to create a few platforms. So we're going to decide where and how many houses we want to have on the side of our mountain. So 3 is a good number, although two of these houses are technically one house, so you can add as many or as few of these as you want. You'll want some dark oak wood slabs, you'll want some oak wood planks, you'll also need some oak wood fence for this next bit. To construct the houses themselves, we'll need spruce wood, dark oak wood stairs we'll also need. And we don't need too much else for the time being, although you might want to grab some stone and some grass if you want to mess about with the surroundings a little bit. Oh, also, you might want to grab some glowstone. So, what do we want to do? We want to figure out where the houses are going to be on our mountain. Okay, so I'm going to begin with the highest house. I think that this crevice here lends itself very nicely to a house because we build the platform, we build the house, and then we have to dig out a cave inside the house. It just works very well. So plot out where you want the platform to be. That's the first thing to figure out. So you want the platform to be in line with a block. So for instance, like, see this block here? Place a dark oak wood plank next to it. Place a dark oak wood slab underneath the plank and extend the slab outwards, coming out of the mountain until it is, to your satisfaction, as far out of the mountain as you like, and then extend it in the opposite direction, connect it to the opposite point of the mountain. So you want to have an effect that should look like this. Like, it's kind of difficult to describe what you want to do, but it's actually quite obvious. Like, you see that you want to kind of like connect to the mountain, and if possible, kind of like a 90-degree angle, kind of like this. You may even find that you don't want to go that far. Maybe you want to have a much smaller platform. It's kind of up to you. So you might just want to have this as a platform. You might not want to spread out that far onto the mountain. You might find that you want a lot of the house to be internal. However, take the corner blocks of every single one of the corners of the platform and place a dark oak wood plank on top. Connect each one of the planks together using your oak wood fence, like this. Then create a base, half a row underneath the slabs and stuff using your oak wood. This will give a two-tone effect to the platforms. It will make it a lot more eye-catching, and it also makes it a lot more interesting. You want to provide an oak wood base directly underneath the platforms like this. So we just want to have something which should look like that, and all of these platforms will look very similar. We also want to construct supports for the platforms as well. So these are basically made out of dark oak wood slabs, and we want to take, where possible, the ends of the platform, so like the ends of the platform underneath, and we want to take, say, the first block in, and we want to place a dark oak wood slab underneath. Move that block backwards by one, the dark oak wood slab, down, back, down, back, down, back, down, back, down, back, down, back, down, and back. There we go. So you want to actually connect to the mountain itself. So yeah, does that connect properly? Hang on, down. Oh my god, guys, it never ends. There we go. So you actually want to create a support that makes it look as though that this is being made on the mountaintop itself, like it's molded in, it's supported, it's not going anywhere. That's the platform. The houses themselves are actually quite simple. Pick a spot on your platform, not too close to the edge of the platform, so give yourself a couple of blocks to walk around. Construct a row of 4 spruce wood coming up from one of the blocks of the platform. 1, 2, 3, and 4, like that. Take that 4th block and do 2 upright diagonals going towards where the center of the roof will be. So that's 1 diagonal, 2 diagonals, like that. Place a 3rd, and that will be the center of the roof. Then take that 3rd diagonal, do 2 bottom right diagonals from it. 1, 2. Actually do 3 because I'm silly, and connect it down to the ground. And that is what the frame of the front of every single house will look like. It'll look like that. What you then want to do is you want to, 1 row inwards in relation to the frame, you want to build a base of oak wood planks. So directly behind the layer of spruce wood that you just created for the frame, you want to create an inward layer of oak wood planks that sits inside the house. The roofs for these houses are quite simple, so we want to start on the left of the 4th spruce woods on the left, and if possible the right hand side. We want to have the very first row of the roof be dark oak wood stairs, and it will connect backwards to the mountain. It also wants to extend forwards. The center of the roof will be made out of oak wood stairs, and the edge of the roof will be made just out of dark oak wood stairs. So you can see that the edge of the roof here, it wants to overhang the front of the build by 1 row, is dark oak wood. We want the exact same thing for like the very edge of the sides. We want the oak wood stairs climbing up to the top, but we want the central and the end parts of the roof to be, as I said before, we want them to be dark oak wood. So the top of the roof can be made out of a slab and like an upward facing dark oak wood stair if you like, and make the underhanging part of the actual roof do upside down dark oak wood stairs underneath the overhanging row, like that. Looks quite good. Now, for the actual entrance, it's slap bang in the middle of the actual house. Down at the bottom, we want these 2 blocks to be the entrance. So like where I've just destroyed, right at the bottom center of the build, we want those 2 blocks to be the entrance. We want to place a spruce wood either side of the entrance with a dark oak wood fence on top of the spruce wood. Then place a layer of dark oak wood slabs on top of that. Leave half a row's gap and then place another row of dark oak wood slabs like this. Destroy behind the layer of slabs. It's built into 1 row, and then just do white stained glass blocks. So there you have a very nice looking, very simple, great looking house entrance. We have a house, we have the entrance, we have everything that we need. That is one of the houses. Now, this is going to be the first of many. Every single house will look like this unless you change it. I wanted something repeatable, looks great. There we have it. If you want, the house can meld even better into the surroundings. Like, if you want, you can add more oak wood planks to connect it better to the mountain, or you could add less. You can build the mountain around it, or you can build into it, or you can just completely reform it. But that's one house. let's build another platform now. So I know that I want this particular house here to connect to the house that I'm going to be making next. So in this little bit of an alcove here, I'm going to create another house that is a little bit below and a little bit off to the right. So first of all, I'm going to create another platform. I think right about here is quite good. So I'm going to place a dark oak wood plank coming out of the side of the mountain. I'm going to extend this. You know what? I might actually build it a little bit closer. No, I won't actually. Here's fine. I'll build a dark oak wood plank coming out of the mountain. Then I'm going to place a block underneath that plank. I need to place a dark oak wood slab underneath that plank. Now I'm going to take that slab. I'll extend it out of the front of the mountain a little bit. And then I'll extend it to the right. So I'm just going to extend it to the right. We have a pretty decent sized platform here. I'm going to place like a couple of stone here on the right hand side of the mountain, just so that it looks as though that it better fits with the mountain. And I'm going to place a dark oak wood plank on top of that block that connects to the mountain, on top of this corner as well. And then I'm going to do the usual thing of placing oak wood fence around this, like this. And I'm just going to completely, after this, I'm going to add a layer of oak wood planks underneath the platform. You guys know how these work. We're going to be doing a few more of these. We're at the very least going to be doing probably about another 3 after this. So you'll have to get very comfortable with how you would actually put one of these together. So the reason that I've made this platform a little further to the right is because I want to connect this platform to the lower platform that we'll be making in a sec. I want to connect it together in an interesting way. I'm actually going to want to knock through into the mountain itself, and I want to create like a nice mountain passageway from this platform to the one that will be lower. You guys will see it a bit later on, but that's what's going to happen. So on the right-ish side of the mountain platform that we've just created, I'm going to once again begin by placing a row of 4 spruce wood. So about here's good. I want to do, no, here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I want to do 3 upper right diagonals with the spruce wood. That's 1, 2, and 3. And then I want to do 3 bottom right diagonals. 1. I can't do any more, but that's fine because we can build the house around our actual mountains. So I'm just going to begin like normal. I'm going to place a layer of oak wood planks inside of the frame. It's going to sit perfectly inside of the frame like this. I'm going to destroy any dirt blocks and stuff that might get in the way like this coming up to the top, but I'm not going to destroy any here on the right. The entrance is going to be here, and I can work around that. I'm now just going to fill the left-hand side of this in with oak wood planks, like this. Okay, so that's the actual frame of the house. As you can see, they don't have to be big solid frames, they can easily be built into the mountain, and they look good. Let's talk about the roof though. So the roof, you guys know what this is. We want to have the edge of the roof be dark oak wood stairs. The center of the roof is oak wood stairs coming all the way up to the top like this. I actually don't have my dark oak wood slabs, do I? It comes all the way up to the top like this, and we want the overhanging part of the roof to be dark oak wood stairs, or more conveniently upside down dark oak wood stairs. And we can follow the pattern here of the roof. We can actually build it into the mountain a little bit, so you can see that we can actually connect it to the wall, and then we can continue to place like our upside down stairs. So build the roof as far as you can into the mountain, but as soon as you can't really do it anymore, just stop, leave it, it's fine. Connect the roof to the mountain coming backwards, nothing will change here, that's all completely fine. We'll talk about interiors and stuff a little bit later on. We can discuss how big you want those to be and how you want them to look and how you want everything to connect together, but there you go. The entrance we can proceed as with normal, so we have these 2 empty spaces at the bottom center middle part of this house. We can place a spruce wood either side of the bottom, and we can place dark oak wood fence on top with a layer of dark oak wood slabs on top of that. Leave half a row's gap and we can place another layer of dark oak wood slabs. Behind this, wherever we can, and it's a bit tricky to find out where can we do this, so it's just directly above the entrance. I'm just going to, I'll actually dig a little bit into the mountain just so that we can actually place our glass behind here. Like this, so we can actually place like glass directly behind this, and we can have a really nice effect built into the wall. So there you go, guys. There we have another platform. It looks great. So We did talk earlier about how we would actually connect this platform here to another platform in an interesting way. So an easy way to do that is, so we have this area here. I've already dug into this a little bit. So if we dig into the mountain a little bit like this, right? And it might even be easier if I grab, like, say, like a potion of night vision, just so that everybody can see. So if I dig into the mountain a little bit, and I find a nice amount to dig in, like, I don't know, like, say we dig in just a couple more rows. The gravel does make it a little bit harder, so say we want to dig this far in. Then if we dig our way out of the mountain, and we kind of, like, dig outwards and down, so that we create, like, we actually go down a little bit, we'll eventually pop out the side of the mountain, yeah? In a pretty decent area. That's not too bad at all, really, is it? It's maybe a little further down than I wanted, but that's not too bad whatsoever. As a matter of fact, maybe we could even build it upwards a little bit. So if I kind of want to be a bit higher on the mountain, so maybe like here, we pop out here. We can create a platform around this. So if we take, I don't know, this block here, and we place like a dark oak wood slab, or a dark oak wood plank, we place a slab below it, we extend this forwards, and then we extend it to the right, just far enough so that we actually have a platform to stand on, coming out of this little secretive mountain entrance, and then we can kind of like build a little platform around this. So what I'm teaching you guys is, really, if you create the passageways first, if you create the areas in which you actually want to connect together first, and then you connect them together, it's going to be easy. So we just want to place that, and then some oak wood fence going around this little platform that we have here. That looks great. So you can now see that we can walk up through here. We can destroy this, we can place like a oak wood stairs to make it look more man-made. We can dig into the side of the little mountain that we have here. We can dig a little bit into it either way. We can open it up just a little bit once again to make it more man-made looking like this. You could even place some light here inside of our little cavern, and if you do decide to do that, place some trapdoors and stuff around it so that it's not so obvious. Maybe even consider placing a little bit more oak wood planks to kind of just like lead you in, and maybe even some plant life, some wildlife, maybe some, like, I don't know, maybe some like oak wood leaves and stuff, just to kind of I don't know, just to make it look a bit more lived in, and well, not lived in, but just to make it look a little bit more as though somebody's actually made this. But that is what you want to do with the secret hidden mountain path. You can have more of those, you can have less of those, it's completely up to you. So now that we have this little platform that leads us to the bigger platform, let's work our way down the mountain a little bit. So let's figure out, I want another platform very close to the base of the mountain, say about here-ish, or here. Yeah, about here is fine. So I'm going to once again take out the dark oak wood slabs. I'm going to place a plank coming out of the mountain. I'm going to place a slab underneath that. I'm going to extend it outwards. I don't want it to be a big one. To the right a bit. Then I'm going to connect it to... I'm going to pop that potion again. And I'm just going to connect it to the mountain itself. Once again, you can put these in all sorts of various positions. But I just want to create this little platform here that we can connect from there to there. So I'm going to just fill the base of this in with the oak wood planks as usual. I'll also put a little bit of a barrier using oak wood fence around this, like that. There we go, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? So we can have that. We have two platforms now. This one I wish was a little bit lower than that one, but what can you do? I wish it was a little bit lower, but it's not. We have to connect these together, plus we have to connect them to the ground. I would highly recommend using dark oak wood slabs. So this can actually connect. So I'm just going to crack open a few blocks of this particular area, and I'm just going to lead a little bit of dark oak wood slabs down to this. So there we go. So we've now created a way in which we can get from this platform to the next platform in a relatively safe manner. If you want to avoid falling off too much, you can dig into the actual mountain and you can have a nice little mountain path, which is by far a lot safer than not having one of these. So you can just have something which looks like this. You can destroy these blocks around here like that, and then you can have a nice little windy path, and we just have to destroy, I don't know, like those blocks there, maybe even those blocks there. That looks pretty decent. Maybe even that one there. So now you can actually navigate between the two platforms. We also have to connect this one down to the ground, so I'll leave that block open as well. And then we're very close to the ground here anyway, but you could just have boom, boom, and maybe even like an oak wood stairs here. So you can see that all of our platforms now connect together. So each one of these all connect together. Mostly the first one that created and the second one don't connect together yet, but we can sort that out later. I want to create another house for our mountain town. I want to create it all the way over on the left here. This one is going to be easy to get to, and it'd be a nice way to use it. It'd be like a nice survival base. So coming out of the actual mountain itself, here on the far left, I'm going to place a dark oak wood plank. I'm going to place a slab underneath it, and then I'm going to extend it out by quite a bit. Then I'm going to extend it to the right. So I want to connect it to the mountain, say here. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. That's not too bad. Extend up the corner. I'm going to grab the oak wood fence and the oak wood planks. I'll create a base for this platform. And a cool thing about this one is, like I said, like this is going to be the first immediate house that you can get to from the bottom of the mountain. So it's going to be easy to get into. Like, you're not going to have to climb up a load of elaborate stairs and go through all sorts of passageways. This house we're going to make very, very easy to access. So now that we've built the platform for it to sit on, I'm going to pick eeny, meeny, miny this one. Yeah, this block here is fine. I'm going to start with a row of 4 spruce wood. Actually, maybe we'll make it so that we can only have 1 block walking around this. So 1, 2, 3, 4 spruce wood, as we always start this off with. We want to do 3 upright diagonals. That's 1 and 2. And in this one, we can't even like do our 3 upright diagonals. I'm then just going to place our oak wood planks here. I might even have this one built a little bit more into the mountain a little bit. And I'm going to place the oak wood plank backing for the actual walls here. I'm going to begin by making the roof, or what we can of it. This one's not going to have a very big roof whatsoever because it is surrounded by a lot of mountain. Like, that's only the second diagonal, so we don't even have like the apex of the roof to worry about here. I'm going to connect the roof backwards using the oak wood stairs like this, and then I'm going to place the upside down dark oak wood stairs underneath the overhanging part here. Going to fill that in with dark oak wood planks, and now we can worry about the entrance. So this center block here is where the third diagonal would be, therefore the entrance would be down at the bottom here. I'm going to place the spruce wood either side at the bottom of the entrance. I'm going to place dark oak wood fence on top of these. I'm going to knock out the row behind this, and I'm going to preemptively place the white stained glass block in here, like this. And then I'm going to place the layer of dark oak wood slabs on top of this, and then half a row above. I'm finding that I have to destroy a couple of blocks along the way. But that's the actual house itself. When it comes to getting inside this house, I'm just going to come in here a little bit, and I'm going to knock a... Did I just destroy some glass? I did, didn't I? So I'm inside the house now. This is where I'm going to have all of the living space inside the house. I'm knocking out a lot of blocks here. I might even place a light source just so that everybody can see properly. There we go. So this is where I'm going to have a house. This one, as with all of the others, can be as big or as small as you like. So this one can be a big house, it can be small. That's the beauty of these mountain cave houses. They can rarely be what you make them. But the point is, we want to take this house, and I want to take where the entrance is. I want to come all the way to the back of the house, and I want to dig down. I want to dig down like this, and I want to dig out. So I want to dig down and out, coming out of the mountain. I can barely even see where I'm digging. I'm going to have to pop a potion. So I want to dig down and out of the mountain like this, and here we can have a nice hidden entrance to the house. Or you can make it so that the entrance is not hidden whatsoever, so that, I don't know, well, I mean, if it's your base, you probably don't want people to immediately find it anyway. Like, if it's something like that, which isn't 100% easy to notice, you may find that you just want to leave it that way, or maybe hide it even a little bit more. It's completely up to you, of course. So that is the final house that we've made. We've actually made all of the platforms that I wanted to make. I'm finding now, by the way, that I wish that these two lower platforms here, I wish that there was a bit of a height difference between them. I wish one was a lot taller than the other, but this is something that you can work out for yourself. This is something that you're going to want to do for yourself, guys. So before we actually start doing the interiors for all of the houses, let me show you how to do one of the last cosmetic changes to the outside of your mountain town. So the next thing we're going to want to do is we want to grab some cobblestone. We'll need some water, cobblestone slabs, and you might even want to grab some like grass, and you might want to grab like a little bit of bone meal and maybe even some like oak leaves and some flowers and stuff, because the next thing we're going to do is we are going to make a little bit of a waterfall. So in between these two platforms, I think we're going to make a waterfall. So if we dig into the actual mountain itself, and we dig in between this area here, so like where the platforms connect to each other here, I think that this is going to be kind of like a good area to have a waterfall. So I'm going to dig in a little bit like this, yeah? I'm going to dig in, and I'm going to dig down, and I want to dig into the ground, and I want to create an artificial waterfall that comes down and it flows down somewhere near the farm. It makes sense if it flowed down somewhere near the farm like this. So you can see that we've actually dug into the actual wall now. We want to create a place that it will actually pool together. So with your cobblestone, where the water will eventually fall, and you might actually have to instigate the water first to figure out where it's going to go. You're just going to want to create a bit of a boundary where the water itself should fall, like this. And then I'm just going to drop a water from here, like that. Yeah, it's not getting in anyone's way. And I'll drop one right next to it as well, like this. And it's hopefully, yeah, it's not getting in anyone's way. And I'm just going to add a bit more water down here, just so that it's still. And there we have a nice little waterfall and a nice little water pool. If you want to build up the area around the waterfall a little bit, I wouldn't blame you. And oh my god, it's so dark when you don't use the potion of night vision, guys. It's unbelievable. I'd really recommend these. So you might want to, just like I said, like mess about with the area around the waterfall, make it look a bit nicer. I'm going to, using the cobblestone slabs and all of that sort of stuff, I'm going to create an area at the base of the waterfall that makes it look all nice and rocky. I want to make it look as though there is a natural collection of water. I want to make it look as though there is, like I said, like just completely natural here on its own. You might even want to add some like grass blocks around it just to kind of like give the effect a little bit more, like this. Maybe even like a cobblestone, little cobblestone area here. You might even want to add some like oak leaves and stuff kind of around the base of this. Oak wood leaves and flowers and stuff really do scream like natural water. You might even want to say like destroy these couple of blocks here, add a bit more grass just so that the area looks a bit better. Maybe even add some grass to the water itself like this, and then bone meal it. Yeah, perfect. Looks a bit more natural. And then just bone meal the area around it like this. There we go. That looks quite nice. It doesn't look too bad whatsoever. Now, you might want to make that a bit more circular. You may want to... I think that's a lot of its problem, actually. I think if we make it a bit more circular, guys, I think if we just add, like, that block there, that does make it look a little bit more natural. I think a lot of that's problem is the fact that it is a bit squarey. But can you see the sort of effect that adds to our nice little mountain town? It adds a lot to it. And like I said, you can make that higher, you can make it lower, you can make multiples of those, you can add all sorts to it. The next thing that we're going to add around this area is we are going to grab some glowstone. We'll need oak wood fence and wooden trapdoors. In the walls, coming up around our mountain town, I'm going to add glowstone and I'm going to add wooden trapdoors knocked into the actual mountain itself. These are going to create lights. They're going to make things easy. We're going to make it easier to see. We're going to add a little bit more interest to the actual mountain itself. You don't have to add that many, and right about where you have the waterfall, you might even find that you want to add like a hanging oak wood fence, glowstone light, kind of like this, maybe even a bit lower down if you so choose. But if you just place wooden trapdoors all the way around like a hanging glowstone, you'll create a really cool little bit of light like this. Like I said, you might even want to have that hang lower than it already does. Something else that you might want to do is you might find that like where you have the mountain path, you might want to make it a bit more like obvious. You might want to add like in the wall like a cobblestone wall maybe, and maybe like a cobblestone slab either side, or you might even want to add like an actual glowstone in there just to make it, again, like just to make it a bit more recognizable so people can see this and they're like, hey, what is that? You know, if you kind of like mark these things out that people can find, then people might find it a bit more interesting. And a secret about this is if you make it so that a lot of the man-made stuff is spread out, then once again things will look a lot more natural like this. And you might even want to do it like where the mountain path comes out. So you might want to add like a cobblestone wall, cobblestone slab, like a glowstone on top. Looks great. You might even want to make it so that this like overhangs a little bit. I don't know. It's kind of up to you. That doesn't look too bad. In the wall here, I think that's a bit too close. If that's what we have going on here, you might even want to like just outside of the mountain town. If you add like glowstone and stuff to the actual walls, you can really get something going. So there you go, we have quite a nice little area carved out on the mountain. Our farm's growing, we have the water, we have the platforms, we have the mountain houses. And the last aesthetic purposes area that we have coming all the way up to the top of the mountain, if you want to add something that looks very much like a mine, if you take out your polished andesite and you kind of create like a, I don't know, like say like a 5x5 square on top of the mountain, and you might even want to dig this in a little bit, because this is something that you'll be able to see from the base of the mountain as well, or if you're a lot far away. So if you make like a 5x5 square of andesite, like on the top of your mountain, something like this, an odd number, and if you create like a little bit of a crane next to it, maybe using like oak wood coming out from one of the back center blocks, and if you use like some oak wood stairs, some dark oak wood stairs, like a combination of slabs, maybe like a dark oak fence, and even a cauldron, like if you place like say an upside down dark oak wood stairs, and if we use our, we don't actually have them, where are they, our oak wood slabs, like if we have this coming out and then coming into the actual center here, if we have like a couple of dark oak wood fence like this, and if we have like a cauldron coming down from that fence like that, we have a nice little, it looks like a little bit of a coal mine, or at the very least it looks like a crane. The idea is that it's something man-made. That's what's important about this. You can even add some fence around the top of this if you want to make it look a little bit more dangerous like this, but then how would you access it? That's the only problem if you actually wanted to use this place. You could add some fence to it, and the cool thing about this is you could even use this as like a secret entrance to get to the top of the mountain. You could dig all the way down like this, you could dig all the way down, and you could like pop out the back of the mountain, and you could have like an ulterior way to get all the way up to the top of the mountain and into your house. So it's just something that's man-made. You could add one of those, you could add two of those, you could add all sorts, you could add a windmill up there, you could add all sorts of stuff, a little hut, you could add all sorts of stuff, but it just adds to the man-made things too that we've added to this mountain. The last thing that I'm going to cover with this mountain, and we'll need the actual potions of night vision. So there's only two houses that don't connect together at the moment. So there's two parts of this that don't connect together. It's the top house and it's this bottom house. So the way that we need to connect these together is we have to do some digging. So if we dig in from this bottom house, or from the middle house as it's known, if we dig in from this middle house and we dig far enough into the mountain that we can actually connect to the top house, the biggest house right at the top of the mountain. If we dig far enough into the mountain that we can see, like, we'll have to eyeball it. So we've dug a fair amount in. I don't think that we'll connect exactly there. So if we dig just a few more rows in, like we just dig a few more rows in like this, yeah? then we can start digging upwards. And a lot of this you're going to kind of have to like, you'll probably have to move outside of yourself. You'll have to move outside and you'll have to just be like, are we there yet? I don't know. And that's what we're going to have to do. So we're now digging upwards, yeah? We've dug upwards for quite a while. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to come all the way into the top mountain house. And I'm going to try and meet things in the middle. So I'm going to dig a little bit inwards here. I expect that the entrance will be a bit closer to the front than the back. So I'm going to dig in here and I'm going to try and connect them together. If you guys have ever played any sort of game, if you've ever played survival ever, I'm sure that you guys have had to do a very similar thing to this, and it's such a painstaking task. It really is. It's not fun whatsoever. If we could see through walls, there we go. If we could see through walls, it'd be even easier. You can see that we just hit it. We actually just hit it. So now all of the houses connect together, and with whatever you want to do with that, that's completely up to you. So if you want to kind of like make the area look nice, if you want to make it look, the connection points look nice, if you want to dig into the wall, if you want to add ladders, if you want to add support to the houses, if you want to make specific houses do specific tasks, it's completely up to you. If you want to add like platforms and stuff inside here and section different areas of the houses off from each other, then that's completely up to you. If you wanted to make this house, say, like 10 times bigger, just dig into the wall, keep digging into the wall, and then you could make like a hidden library or whatever it is that you want to make with this specific house. You could do whatever it is you wanted to do with this house, and that is kind of the point, guys. So that's pretty much most of what I have to tell you. Like, all of the aesthetic stuff is done. Like, this is what your mountain town will look like. I mean, give or take some blocks. If you want to add buildings, add buildings. You could even extend this town all the way over to the right here. We even have a nice flowing waterfall on the back, which we could take advantage of. We have a nice little bit of a cave in here which we could build around. The point of this is you can kind of keep going and going and going. You can make this 10 times bigger than it is. It looks great. What you do with the inside of the buildings is your business, but I will now warp back to the original version of the mountain town so that we can see what it looks like, we can see how it compares, and I can show you what you can do to the inside of the buildings. But this is the mountain town, guys. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the original version of the mountain town. As you can see, the layout is ever so slightly different, but everything is the same. We still have the farm, we have the cave, we have the waterfall, we have all of the platforms, and we have the houses. We even have the little mine on top. However, with this version, this is the version that I wanted to make look the best that I could. I'm sure that you guys in the exact same situation would do that with your world. So you might not like how mine was just set out that I've just created, but if you want it to look a lot more like this, I'm sure you'll put more time into it. But as it comes to the houses, what can you do with the inside of the houses? Well, it depends. Like, do you want your houses to be simple? Do you want them all to be... Do you almost want to create like a mountain villager village? Do you want each specific house to have a purpose? Like, this is like a nice normal house, but do you want, say, like an enchantment-like house? So you could have like a house that had like a library in it. Would you like a brewing house? Would you like to create a house with a brewing area in it, etc, etc? Or do you want to make it a bit more like this? All of mine are very open plan. If you want to decorate the inside of these, I would highly recommend putting a floor of oak wood planks in. I'd create supports everywhere. I'd create oak wood connected together with like dark oak wood. I'd create light inside the houses using glowstone and using some trapdoors, as you can see. I'd create lots of storage spaces. If you want an area to be bigger, simply make it bigger. Dig into the actual mountain itself. Add some just like fence into the wall. It looks good. It looks supportive. It looks planned. Add plants over the place. Add some plants, add some oak leaves, add some stuff that you need to add to make it look a little bit fancier. I haven't done a great job in showing you the inside of these houses or how to do them, but you can make some awesome designs in here without too much trouble. You could even have indoor farms. You could have an area that goes to like a hidden mine shaft. You can have all sorts of stuff built into these houses. So I mean, that's all of the advice that I have for you. I just wanted to compare. I wanted to be able to compare what we've just made to the original. I wanted to show you guys that everything is pretty much the same except laid out a little bit differently. And I also wanted to show you what you could do to the inside of the houses. I don't have a massive amount of tips for what to do to the interiors of them, but make them interesting. Like I said, add stuff to the walls, add stuff into the walls, make them bigger, shape them in ways that would be interesting. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is the mountain town. This is a very different project from what I have made in the past, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy the content, please do remember to smack that like button. As you can imagine, this was quite a difficult tutorial, quite a difficult video to put together, and the mountain town itself was quite difficult to design, really, despite the fact that it is very, very easy after making it once. If you do enjoy the content, please do remember to smack that like button. I'd be happy. Cinnamon would be very, very happy. Trust me, you might even hear her in the background. Nay. That was just me, but you know she's not here, but I have to pretend she is. If you do enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, say hello down there in the comment section down below. Let me know if you'd like to see another video like this in the future. Who knows? Maybe you even have some ideas for one. Let me know down there in the comment section. Also, please do click the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get every single one of my videos sent directly to your sub box. If you want some different tutorials, if you want individual houses and individual items that you can actually make without building an entire town, check out the card system and the description below. You'll find all sorts of playlists down there. I'm sure that you guys will be able to find loads of stuff that you'd want to make. I'd highly recommend all of the playlists. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Please do remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.